All right, team, welcome to an expedition into the unknown. Today we're diving headfirst into one of the world's greatest mysteries. We are talking about the Bermuda Triangle. You have all heard the stories, right? This legendary patch of ocean has captured imaginations for decades. It is a place where the normal rules sometimes don't seem to apply. Ships and planes supposedly vanish without a trace. It's a real-life riddle, and we are going to explore it. So buckle up, because this journey takes us into the heart of the enigma. What is this place really? So what exactly is the Bermuda Triangle? It is not an officially recognized name on any map. Instead, it is a loosely defined area in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean. Most people say its corners are Miami, Florida, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and the island of Bermuda. That makes a vast triangle of open sea. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of square miles of water. Some areas are very deep, while others have shallow reefs. It's a busy shipping route. Many planes fly over it too. This high traffic makes any incident more noticeable. Why is it so mysterious? Well, that is the big question, isn't it? The legend says an unusually high number of ships and aircraft have disappeared here. And not just disappeared, but vanished under mysterious circumstances. Often there are no distress calls, no wreckage is found, no survivors. It is like they just blinked out of existence. These tales have fueled speculation for years. Is it a cursed place? Are there strange forces at work? Or is there a simpler explanation for everything that has happened within these waters? The Bermuda Triangle's significance is huge in popular culture. It is a symbol of the unexplained. Books, movies, and TV shows have all explored its mysteries. It taps into our human fascination with the unknown and our desire to solve puzzles. For some, it's a place of genuine fear. For others, it is an exciting adventure story. But for us, as explorers, it represents a challenge. We want to separate fact from fiction. We aim to understand what really goes on in this infamous stretch of ocean. Let's get started on this quest. No story about the Bermuda Triangle is complete without Flight 19. This is perhaps the most famous disappearance. It really helped cement the triangle's fearsome reputation. Imagine this. December 5th, 1945. World War II had just ended. 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It was a routine training mission, call sign Flight 19. 14 experienced airmen were on board those planes. They were supposed to fly east, conduct bombing runs, then head north and back to base. Simple enough, right? But things went terribly wrong. A few hours into the flight, the leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, reported his compasses were not working. He thought they were lost. Radio transmissions became increasingly confused. They mentioned being unsure of their position. Taylor mistakenly believed they were over the Florida Keys. He decided to fly east, deeper into the Atlantic, hoping to find land. This was a fatal error. The weather started to get rough. Darkness was falling. The situation was becoming desperate for these lost pilots. Radio contact with Flight 19 became intermittent and then faded completely. The last transmissions were filled with static and confusion. Navy personnel on shore listened helplessly. They tried to guide the lost planes back, but it was no use. The 5 Avenger bombers and their 14 crew members vanished. A massive air and sea search was launched immediately. Hundreds of ships and planes scoured the ocean for days. They searched a huge area, but they found nothing, not a single piece of wreckage. No oil slicks, no life rafts, nothing. The mystery deepened even further. A Martin Mariner PBM flying boat with a 13-man crew was sent out to search for Flight 19. It too disappeared without a trace on that same day. Some reported seeing an explosion in the sky around the time the Mariner vanished. But again, no wreckage was ever definitively found. 27 men and 6 aircraft, all gone in a single afternoon. This incident, more than any other, put the Bermuda Triangle on the map as a place of unexplained peril. It is a true maritime mystery. Flight 19 is a chilling story, but it is not the only one. The Bermuda Triangle's dark ledger includes many other baffling disappearances. Long before Flight 19, there was the USS Cyclops. This was a massive US Navy collier ship over 540 feet long. In March 1918, during World War I, it set sail from Barbados. It was heading to Baltimore, Maryland. The ship was carrying over 10,000 tons of manganese ore, and it had 309 people on board. It never arrived. No SOS was ever received from the Cyclops. The disappearance of the USS Cyclops remains the single largest loss of life in US naval history, not involving combat. The ship just vanished. Extensive searches found absolutely nothing. Theories ranged from German U-boat attacks, though Germany denied it, and no evidence supported it. Some suggested a rogue wave capsized her. Others pointed to the heavy cargo shifting in rough seas. Or perhaps an engine failure left her adrift, or whatever happened, it was sudden and complete. The Cyclops simply sailed into mystery, becoming another dark chapter in the Triangle's story. Then there are the Star airliners. These were luxury passenger planes operated by British South American Airways. In January 1948, the Star Tiger, a Tudor Ivory aircraft, vanished. It was flying from the Azores to Bermuda. There were 31 people on board. The weather was not perfect, but not terrible either. The plane sent routine messages, then silence. An enormous search found nothing. Just 1 year later, in January 1949, another BSAA Tudor IV, the Star Ariel, disappeared. This time it was flying from Bermuda to Jamaica. 17 people were lost. Again, no trace. Another strange case is the Carol A. Deering. This 5-masted schooner was found hard aground. It was off Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, in January 1921. This is just north of the typical triangle boundary, but often linked. The ship was completely abandoned. Food was laid out in the galley. The ship's log and navigation equipment were gone. Personal belongings were still there, but there was no sign of the crew. What happened to them? It was a true ghost ship. These incidents and many others build the legend of this mysterious patch of ocean. So, how did these stories of vanishing ships and planes become a global phenomenon? The idea of a mysterious zone didn't just appear overnight. Early accounts of strange disappearances in the area existed for a while, but they were mostly isolated maritime tales. It took a few key writers to connect the dots. They painted a picture of a truly dangerous and paranormal place. These early theories often leaned heavily towards the sensational. They captured the public's imagination in a big way. People love a good mystery, especially one with a touch of the supernatural. The term Bermuda Triangle itself is relatively new. It was coined in 1964 by a writer named Vincent Gaddis. He wrote an article for Argosy magazine. He detailed the strange pattern of disappearances, including Flight 19. Gaddis drew lines on a map outlining this deadly Bermuda Triangle. He suggested that mysterious forces might be at work. His article was a hit. It sparked a wave of interest. Suddenly people started looking at this region of the Atlantic with new eyes. Was there something truly unique and terrifying happening there? The mystery was then supercharged by author Charles Berlitz. His book, The Bermuda Triangle, published in 1974, became a massive bestseller. Berlitz went much further than Gaddis. He linked the disappearances to all sorts of wild theories. He talked about UFOs and alien abductions. He suggested connections to the lost city of Atlantis. Maybe, he proposed, advanced Atlantean technology like powerful energy crystals was still active on the seabed. These crystals could be interfering with ships and planes. He also mentioned sea monsters and dimensional portals. These sensational theories were incredibly popular. People were fascinated by the idea of unknown powers and hidden worlds. The Bermuda Triangle became a household name. It was synonymous with unexplained phenomena. The stories were dramatic, they were scary, and they were very hard to disprove completely. After all, if something vanishes without a trace, who can say for sure what happened? This era cemented the Triangle's reputation as a place where anything seemed possible. The legend was well and truly born. It was a wild time for speculation. Section 5. The Skeptic's Compass Challenging the Mystery. Not everyone was convinced by the tales of aliens and ancient curses. As the Bermuda Triangle legend grew, so did the skepticism. Scientists, researchers and investigators started to look closer at the claims. They wanted to see if there was any real evidence behind the hype. One of the most important figures in debunking the Triangle myth was Larry Kusher. He was a research librarian. He decided to investigate the alleged disappearances systematically. His findings were quite revealing. He was like a detective on the case. In 1975, Kusher published his book, The Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved. It was a game changer. Kusher went back to original sources. He checked newspaper reports, official documents, and weather records for each incident. What he found was often very different from what popular writers claimed. He discovered that many stories were exaggerated. Some details were misreported. Sometimes crucial information was left out. For example, some mysterious disappearances actually happened during severe storms. That's not so mysterious, is it? Kusher also found that some famous triangle incidents didn't even happen inside the commonly defined triangle area. And he pointed out that many writers never mentioned when searchers did find wreckage. They only focused on the ones where nothing was found. He argued that the number of disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle was not unusually high, especially when you consider the huge amount of ship and air traffic in the area. It is a busy place. More traffic means more potential for accidents, statistically speaking. It's just math. So what did Kusher conclude? He believed that most disappearances could be explained by natural causes, things like bad weather, human error, or equipment failure. There was no need for supernatural explanations. He accused writers like Berlitz of creating a manufactured mystery. They did this by presenting incomplete or inaccurate information. Kusher's work provided a strong, evidence-based counter-argument. It showed that with careful research, many of the triangle's secrets weren't so secret after all. This was a big step towards a more rational understanding. Section 6, Nature's Fury, Scientific Explanations, Weather and Waves. Okay, so if it's not aliens or Atlantis, what's going on in the Bermuda Triangle? Well, science has some pretty compelling answers, and many of them point to Mother Nature. This part of the Atlantic Ocean is known for its wild and unpredictable weather. That alone can explain a lot. Let's start with hurricane. The Caribbean and the Atlantic are prime hurricane territory. These massive storms pack incredible power. They have winds over 150 miles per hour and can whip up enormous waves. A ship or even a plane caught in a major hurricane would be in serious trouble. Then there is the Gulf Stream. This is like a powerful river flowing through the ocean. It originates in the Gulf of Mexico and flows northeast across the Atlantic. Its currents are strong and swift, sometimes reaching speeds of 5 to 6 miles per hour. If a ship sinks or a plane crashes, the Gulf Stream can quickly carry wreckage far away from the accident site. This makes finding debris incredibly difficult. It could be dispersed over hundreds of miles in just a day or two. So even if there is wreckage, searchers might be looking in the wrong place. We also have to consider rogue waves. For a long time, these were thought to be just sailors' tall tales, but now we know they are real. Rogue waves are extremely large, steep, and unexpected waves. They can appear suddenly in otherwise calm seas. Some can reach heights of 100 feet or more. Imagine a wall of water like that hitting a ship. It could cause catastrophic damage or even sink a vessel in minutes. There would be no time for a distress call. These waves are rare, but they do happen. They are a serious threat, and let's not forget waterspouts. These are like tornadoes that form over water. They are intense, swirling columns of air and water mist. While usually not as powerful as land-based tornadoes, they can still be very dangerous, especially for smaller boats and low-flying aircraft. A direct hit from a strong waterspout could easily cause an accident. All these natural weather phenomena are common in the Bermuda Triangle region. They provide plausible scientific explanations for many of the tragic losses that have occurred there over the years. Nature can be a powerful adversary. Section 7, Beneath the Waves, Geological and Magnetic Puzzles. Beyond the weather, there are other natural factors that could contribute to the Bermuda Triangle's mysteries. Some of these are found beneath the waves, related to the geology of the area. One interesting theory involves methane hydrates. These are large deposits of methane gas trapped in ice-like crystals on the seabed. The continental shelves in the Triangle region are known to have such deposits. If these hydrates become unstable, they can release huge bubbles of methane gas. This gas can erupt to the surface. What happens then? Well, if a large amount of methane gas bubbles up through the water, it can dramatically reduce the water's density. Think of it like a giant Alka-Seltzer tablet in the ocean. If a ship is sailing over an area where this is happening, it could suddenly lose buoyancy. The ship could sink very rapidly without warning. Some scientists believe this could explain some of the mysterious ship disappearances. While this theory is plausible, direct evidence linking it to specific triangle incidents is still debated. But it is a fascinating possibility to consider. It's science in action. Then there is the issue of magnetism. Sailors have long known that compasses can behave strangely in certain parts of the world. The Bermuda Triangle is one such area. It is one of the few places on Earth where true north and magnetic north line up. This means a compass might not need correction for variation. However, this alignment shifts over time, and local magnetic anomalies on the seabed could also affect compass readings. If a navigator is relying on a faulty compass, they could easily go off course. This could lead them into dangerous waters or far from help. Some pilots have also reported strange electronic effects, sometimes called electronic fog. They describe instruments going haywire and a disorienting grey haze. While not fully understood, some speculate these could be related to electromagnetic interference or unusual atmospheric conditions. Finally, the ocean floor in the triangle is incredibly varied. It has some of the deepest trenches in the Atlantic, like the Puerto Rico Trench, but it also has many shallow reefs and shoals. If a vessel sinks in a deep trench, finding the wreckage is extremely difficult. It could be lost forever in the abyss. Section 8. Legends of the Deep, Myths, Monsters, and more. While science offers many rational explanations, the allure of the supernatural is strong. The Bermuda Triangle is a magnet for myths and legends. These stories are often more exciting than simple human error or bad weather. For centuries, the sea has been a source of mystery and fear, so it is no surprise that people imagine fantastic forces at work in such an infamous area. These tales add to the triangle's mystique. They keep the legend alive in our collective imagination. Let's explore some of these wilder ideas. One of the most popular paranormal theories involves the lost city of Atlantis. According to legend, Atlantis was an advanced civilization that sank beneath the waves thousands of years ago. Some believe Atlantis was located near the Bermuda Triangle. The theory goes that remnants of Atlantean technology, perhaps powerful energy crystals, are still active on the ocean floor. These crystals could supposedly interfere with ships and planes. They might disable navigation systems, or even disintegrate vessels entirely. It is a captivating idea, linking the triangle to ancient mysteries. Then there are the UFOs. Some theorists propose that extraterrestrials are responsible for the disappearances. Perhaps aliens have an underwater base in the Bermuda Triangle. From this base, they abduct humans, ships and planes for study. Or maybe the triangle is some kind of portal or gateway used by UFOs. Reports of strange lights in the sky or unusual aerial phenomena in the region are sometimes cited as evidence. This theory taps into our fascination with life beyond Earth. It adds an interstellar dimension to the mystery. It's out there, literally. And of course, we can't forget sea monsters. Sailors have always told tales of giant creatures lurking in the depths. The kraken, giant squids, or other unknown marine behemoths. Could such creatures be responsible for pulling ships down into the abyss? While science has discovered many amazing deep-sea animals, there is no evidence of monsters large enough or inclined to attack and sink large vessels. But the idea is certainly thrilling. Cursed waters, dimensional rifts, government experiments gone wrong. The list of imaginative explanations is long. These myths make the triangle even more intriguing. Section 9. The triangle's true nature, fact, fiction, or open water. So, after exploring all these angles, what is the truth about the Bermuda Triangle? Is it a paranormal vortex, a uniquely dangerous patch of ocean? Or is it just a place where normal accidents happen, amplified by legend? The reality, as is often the case, is probably somewhere in between, or perhaps it leans more towards the rational. Organizations like the US Coast Guard state that the Bermuda Triangle does not have an unusually high number of incidents compared to other heavily trafficked ocean areas. That is a pretty strong statement from the people who do the rescuing. Many of the famous disappearances, when investigated thoroughly, have plausible explanations. Bad weather like sudden storms or hurricanes is a major factor. Human error by pilots or captains cannot be discounted. Navigational mistakes or poor judgment can lead to disaster. Equipment failure on older ships and planes was also more common. The vastness of the ocean and strong currents like the Gulf Stream make finding wreckage incredibly difficult. So many vanishings might simply be tragedies where the evidence was lost to the sea. It is a harsh environment out there. Yet, the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle endures. Why? Because we humans are drawn to the unknown. We love a good story, especially one that hints at forces beyond our understanding. The idea of a place where the ordinary rules don't apply is fascinating. It challenges our perception of the world. Even if most incidents have logical explanations, there might be a few that remain genuinely puzzling, and it is those few that keep the legend alive. The gaps in our knowledge are where imagination takes flight. It's human nature. Ultimately, whether you believe in supernatural causes or stick to scientific facts, the Bermuda Triangle serves a purpose. It reminds us that the ocean is vast, powerful, and still holds many secrets. It encourages us to explore, to question, and to seek answers. Perhaps the true mystery is not what happens to the ships and planes, but why we are so captivated by their stories. So I leave you with this thought. Will we ever definitively solve every puzzle the triangle presents, or is the enduring allure of the mystery itself the real treasure we find in these waters? The expedition continues.